Hi, this is Jason Logan. Welcome to the review of The Next Karate Kid from 1994. Originally for that movie, it wasn't going to be The Next Karate Kid. It was going to be like Karate Kid in a dress. But instead of having a teenage boy, you'd have a teenage girl being mentored by another sensei. But they decided to do it instead that the Karate Kid was celebrating its 10th anniversary at the time, so they decided to make another movie out of it. And put in Pat Morita as the only original cast member to return, for the franchise for The Next Karate Kid, with a then unknown Hilary Swank as Julie Pierce. The movie starts out with Mr. Miyagi going to a war memorial with his his American war buddy, a little tribute to him. I think it takes place somewhere in Boston when he met the guy. And then, we found about Julie that her parents died, and he was raised by her grandmother. And then, Julie needed a father figure, so who to call? Mr. Miyagi. And then he found out that Mr. Miyagi, that teaching girls is a lot more difficult than teaching boys. So he was going through his struggles, while Julie went with her struggles, being bullied, learning a new, fighting move and everything else. Plus, she was being harassed by basically the school security team, which looks more like looks like a male model version of the gang from James Bond, as opposed to your typical evil school security thing. But one of the former members of that group decided to leave. His name is Eric. Eric was the guy who fell in love with Julie. And the person leading the school security team, the Alphas, was named Colonel Dugan, played by Michael Ironside. And I have to agree that, like Thomas Ian Griffith as Terry Silver in The Karate Kid 3, he was the best part of that movie, or one of the best parts of that movie, when he's every time he's on screen, he eats scenery like no other. He was never boring with Michael Ironside, because he can make any role and turn into a classic. He can make chicken shit out of chicken salad. Although, to be fair, The Next Karate Kid wasn't that bad of a movie. It's just there. Unlike The Karate Kid 3, where it's just terrible, almost all around, except for Silver and Miyagi. The Next Karate Kid wasn't that bad. I even liked Julie Pierce character. Although at first she seems like kind of a brat, kind of stuck up. But once, Mr. Miyagi trains her to, not be so stuck up and defends herself, this is where Julie grew as a character. She went from being, a bratty teen to a well-adjusted one. At least sort of well-adjusted one. So good on Mr. Miyagi for actually helping her out. So this is Pat Morita's last thing he did as the Karate Kid, although they were going to make a Karate Kid 5, or it's a reunion thing with Daniel and Mr. Miyagi, and they're gonna make Johnny Lawrence a doctor in the fifth Karate Kid movie, which doesn't make any sense. But then again, we have Cobra Kai almost 2.5 decades later. So good on Cobra Kai, the Crazy Cobra Kai, for making it kind of comic booky, but at the same time have a little bit of realism in it. Because we kind of know how Johnny and the Cobra Kai's, they went on separate ways after the beginning of Karate Kid Part 2. With Johnny getting the worst of it. But then he has this, redemption story arc in the first season of Cobra Kai, starting with the first season, which he helped out basically playing a more cranky Mr. Miyagi, teaching, Miguel, the more eager Daniel. So I'll review those next week. So anyways, if you like the Next Karate Kid, you want to go with a different direction, in a good way, this is the movie for you. Well, I consider this movie okay, maybe a little bit slightly above average. It's a time waster, but at the same time, if you compare those to the first two Karate Kids, it doesn't compare. But if you compare it to Karate Kid 3 and you think it's way better than that, I don't blame you. So Way better than Karate Kid 3, but not quite up to the first two movies. But it's a good way to end the Miyagi saga with the movies. Like,